All right, so I'm starting to work on my furring strips, and basically I want to show you kind of the difference. This one was used using a drill to go through the middle, and then I used a bigger drill on the outside. And see how much that tears up that wood? Right there, that one, I use what's called a spaying bit. And what it is, it's just a flat, let me show you. It's actually this right here. All it is kind of a flat drill. It's very precision based. So you just put that little tip right exactly where you want to go. I did it right here in the center. And what it does, it just goes down far enough for you. Then at the very end, I took a normal drill bit and just drilled the rest of that out because I'm going to be countersinking in my nuts, my T-bolt in the back of this, and then have it come through the front and put my washer here. But I want this where I can essentially cap that off to stop the bridging of the aluminum going to the interior of the cab. So by doing that, I should make a air barrier between their two that will help out with the Reflectix as well. So yeah, looks good so far. As in looks good, I just, went out to the store to buy the spade bit. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have that to begin with. So yeah, this is good knowledge to know and how general woodworking kind of comes into play. And this is definitely shows you what not to do. The difference is just unreal. So yeah, I've got to go ahead and mark this up. I got to put my different increments. I got to go one here, 147, 49, etc., etc. So down the road and get it done. So yeah, we'll see. All right, I got done drilling those out. So this is my first test one just to see how it looks. So don't mind how it actually turned out. So this is going to sit in there just like that. My T-nut is. I'm going to put on top of that a 1-inch washer. Assume that did not fall out. Then I'm putting in my locking washer right there. And then I'm going to put on top of the nut. So it's going to sit down somewhat like that, countersunk. Now this one I'm not using because I'm tore it up and stuff, but that's what it's going to look like overall. I'm going to do that for 4 other spots along the board. So yeah, woodworking, who would have guessed? It actually works if you know how to do it. So getting the right tools is the first thing, but knowledge before all, and mainly just get a board or two just to test out and practice with, because you will not perfect that system at all. Or at least for me. If you're used to woodworking, yeah, no issues. This is your first time. Get a couple extra boards. Just keep at it until you figure it out. But I'm essentially just reusing all those hardwares there from those large, heavy shelves. And so if it can hold one of those shelves, man, this is a little furring strip. This is going to be overkill. But I'm reusing what I already have existing. So who knows? Should work. In my mind, it does. All right, see you guys later. All right, everyone, we're back here again, showing you the update. Here is what a furring strip looks like. It's actually already sitting on, this is a light fixture that's just still in there. I have not actually taken that out yet. Need to, probably next. But it just shows you where it's going to sit on top of this. And so the bracing behind here is, it will go from, the exterior, which is, I believe, like a truss core thing, which is like kind of a plastic fiberglass composite. Not really sure. I probably should look at that, the manual. And then it hits wool insulation on the exterior. And then it hits plywood with carpet. Next, we're going to have carpet, of course, on the inside. This is what you see over here. So, wait a minute. Exterior is the composite. Then it's going to hit wool, plywood, carpet, Reflectix. Then we're going to hit this foam the foam density stuff, and then it's going to hit wood. So, yeah, that should be enough layers in between there to help with noise deadening. And as well as I'm going to have a thing on top of the wood that's going to have another half inch of, I don't know what yet I'm going to put in there yet. Need to find something that's really noise dampening. That seems to be the key with everything, is to kind of make sure that I don't blast everyone's ears out. But also to putting all this stuff in definitely would probably help out with insulation. But I'm just mocking all this stuff up right now. I've got a temperature gauge, so I can gauge the front of the cab, back of the cab, or the box, the front in the cab area. I've got another sensor for outside, and then it comes with its own inside sensor as well. So I have 4 different sensors. That way I'm going to measure what the ambient temperature is outside, as well as inside here pre-installation, as well as post-installation, and just see the difference between the two. Because if ambient temperature is 60 outside, or actually right now we're down in like the 30s. So 30 outside, it's 50 in here. It gives me about a temperature difference on 20 of there. But I should kind of gauge, you know, how much difference it makes between inside. Mainly if I cut off the heat inside here, if I run it for 30 minutes, measure, turn it off for an hour, and then measure the outside, and we'll see how much heat it retains for as long as it does. So I think that's a good measurement of how this stuff works. Once again, consult with someone who knows more than me for sure, because this is all stuff I've just watched on YouTube for years, and I'm trying to battle 3 main things. Radiant heat, number 1. Number 2, trying to insulate to retain heat or cool, depending upon the season, of course. And then my third biggest thing is I'm trying to noise deaden a little bit. I'll never soundproof this thing at all, but I do want to reduce the noise transference to the exterior of the box. Because there's nothing worse, I'm sure, than sitting around here and you're just watching stuff and noise is going straight out the side, just like a normal RV trailer. I want it to kind of deaden that sound a little bit more. And these are things that I know some artists in Nashville have been using, is when they soundproof their stuff, is they use this foam. All of this is gym foam mats. And then on top of that, they do plywood, the gym mats, and then they go for acoustical paneling next to kind of help sound deaden, and just makes it sounds great. Don't know if it is the best idea, but it's definitely the cheapest, because most of these materials are fairly easy to come by. So yeah, let me keep pumping these things out really fast, and once I get them all mounted, I'm going to take them. I'm not going to mount them up. I'll mount up my test one, but then I'm going to remove all of this so I can do my temperature check for you. So that way we can at least see. I know this is a lot of rambling, but man, this stuff sucks. I mean, like, there's a lot of work that goes into this, and like, if you have a setup, like, there's a lot of wood guys out there who have their setups complete. I just don't. I'm living out of a box, and so I'm kind of like roaming traveler at the moment. So I don't have everything with me that I have, and so putting together on a quick way to quickly drill in there and using other people's tools, that's actually a really good business idea. I think that guys need to get together, about 20 or 30, 50 of them. They need to buy a building, throw a bunch of tools and woodworking stuff in there, and that way whenever you need it, you have access to it. Kind of like a rented gym. For $10 a month, you get access to the tools and stuff. Bring your own blades or whatever it is. I don't know. Food for thought. We'll see if it actually works tonight. So anyway, guys, check back in a little bit later. I always say that, but we're going good, I think. I like it. Aesthetically pleasing? We'll see. But at least it functions. That's all that matters. All right, check back in. All right, we have the test fitting right here. So that's what it's going to look like. And yeah, so that will be my thermal bridge right there. Is going to be just that little small nut that I'll cover up eventually. So yeah, first time doing this. Definitely measure and recheck, and a couple things you got to worry about is I assume the walls are all straight. Answer is they're not. Secondly, boards are never straight, ever. So they've got a lot of bend to them. So once they get hooked on there, I think it will eventually straighten itself out. But they're pretty close. I mean, like, you can tell it's got a little bit of gap here, and obviously down there, that thing pops out. So I got to fix that next. So yeah, show what it looks like. I should probably show that's there and stuff. So it's definitely, the board is definitely warping. But no board is perfect. That's what they say. I mean, who says it? But someone does. So anyway, keep showing you guys, keep going, figuring this thing out. All right, quick update. I actually brought this all in-house in here because it would be easier. One thing I noticed is I don't need 2 bolts there. That's a bit overkill. Secondly, whenever that thing goes against that wall, it's tight against that wall. So It's really good to know. So essentially, I've lost my ability to kind of slide these around. This thing moves, but down there at the bottom, it is stuck in place. So there's really no movement once you get down here at all. So don't know how I'm going to feed them down there to begin with. I guess I'll just lay it up against the wall kind of like I did before. I did have this cross beam, which was easy to work with, but now I'm going to take that off. Kind of see how it goes from there. But definitely, it's been a learning process, to say the least. Man, because I don't do much woodworking, ever. So I've never countersunk anything. Didn't know that part. Definitely getting that spade head was phenomenal. And yeah, it's just a learning process, but we will see it as we go. And of course, once the walls kind of go up, it'll be a lot easier. It's just, I need some insulation in here. It is freezing tonight. And I've got to definitely put in some of this floor mat in here to get the floors good and cool too. I've got my heater running. It's been nice. Heats up the place a little bit. But I'm just worried I'm losing just about as much as I produce anyway. So that's not going to help out in the long haul. And yeah, next time I do insulation too, I'm taking a lot more of that Velcro, and I'm going to put Velcro the crap out of the back of that thing so it doesn't stick out at all. I may do a little bit of that right now. Just cut loose and stick close by. But yeah, that's it to begin with. And my thermometer comes in tomorrow, so I'll be able to start temperature gauging all this stuff. So, all right guys, let you know. Oh, also, I need to get propane. I have 0 propane. And I got out the mini fridge. I'm really proud of myself about getting out that mini fridge. So, okay guys, we'll check back in later. And here's kind of an extended view of this.